The 2020 Conservative leadership race was forced to the back burner due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Candidates moved their campaigns online. With health restrictions easing across the country and the deadline for members to mail in their votes fast approaching, it was important for leadership candidate Derek Sloan to meet with voters in person.
I wish that we could have done this sooner, and I wish that I could have been out in Alberta sooner. But this is where the rubber meets the road for politics. And it doesn't really give people a true sense of who someone is just to watch them on a video screen. They need to, rub shoulders with them, rub elbows with them. So I think that this is a very critical part of the race, and I'm glad that I'm able to do that, even if it's only at the very end.
When talking about the oil and gas and agriculture sectors, two big industries in this region, Sloan says he's against the Paris Climate Agreement and highlighted the important role farmers play when it comes to food security.
So I'm against the Paris Agreement. I'm against Bill C-69 and Bill C-48. I'm also in favor of a national energy corridor. I'm in favor of energy independence. I think we should put a goal in place, maybe a decade from now, to be fully using Canadian oil and other petroleum products. As far as farming goes, I think, again, food security needs to be a crucial focus for our country, and I think COVID has highlighted that. So we need to treat farmers differently than we do, other sort of free market style industries. So I think that focusing on food security and a low cost of energy is critical for the cost of living and the business environment in Canada.
The leader of the new Wildrose Independence Party, Paul Hindman, was also in attendance. The party wants Alberta to have more independence and would like to see the implementation of all the recommendations of the Fair Deal Panel report, including establishing Alberta Police Force and an Alberta pension plan. Hindman would also like to see the implementation of recall legislation.
For me, recall would be 50% plus one of the total number of people who voted. So if 10,000 people voted, if you gathered 5,001 signatures within about a 120-day period, you would be forced to step down and there'd be a by-election.
Derek Sloan also believes in some of the recommendations of the Fair Deal panel and doesn't think the current equalization formula has been fair for Alberta.
I believe that equalization needs to be rejiggered in some way. I mean, we've seen, the last couple of years have been very difficult for Alberta, and yet they've received basically nothing from an equalization standpoint. So that's something that certainly needs to be revisited. Another issue is representation in the House of Commons.
There are three other people running for the Conservative leadership: Leslyn Lewis, Peter MacKay, and Aaron O'Toole. Members have until August 21st to send in ballots with a new leader being named at the end of the month. Jace Mackey, Primetime Local News.